Hello YouTube, welcome back to my life. Sorry that there was no post yesterday. After getting up relatively early, I did have a little bit of lie-in, and helping Dad with a few bits of paperwork that he had, and a little bit of shopping, meeting Davy for coffee, attending Dad's appointment, which is good news, by the way. Although there have been some small changes in his pancreas, there's not been significant change to the tumour, so the oncologist feels that there's no need to go back to the chemo at present. He scheduled another scan for Dad next month, and yeah, fingers crossed. It's all going to continue to be good for a little while. I mean, he's never going to be cured or anything, but hopefully at least everything will stay sort of stable. It's kind of dormant, if that's a thing, for now. And he's looking forward to finally enjoying a bit of decent weather, so that's good. Then we had bite to eat, and watched the last couple of episodes from Stargate SG-1. Dad is rewatching everything, well, up to the end of season 8, because the last couple of seasons don't count as far as I'm concerned. If O'Neill's not there, it's not Stargate. But yeah, then I drove back down to Sheffield, and then Stephen brought us back to his. But I was absolutely wrecked by that point. There was no way that I was going to do anything other than brush my teeth and go to bed, and then sleep until about 1 o'clock this afternoon, which I probably could have done with a little bit longer. I was feeling a little bit nauseous when I got up, but I got a phone call from the DWP basically saying, you said you were going to send us more evidence about how your disability affects you, and you haven't. I was like, yeah, I've been gathering it, it takes a while. Promise I will send it. So today Stephen has written his letter. It's quite depressing reading them, actually. I mean, I know everything has to be laid out there blunt and black and white, but it's really quite depressing reading how people that you love look at the fact that they have to care for you. And yeah, I hate being a burden like that. And the only way that you can get through, like, day-to-day life when your body isn't working properly, is to concentrate on the good bits. So it's really difficult seeing all of the bad bits written down, fact, one after the other. Especially from the perspective of someone who you care about that much, and you don't want to have to face those parts of your life any more than, possibly even less than, you want to face them yourself. So that just needs to be printed off, and then I can gather all the letters together and post them tomorrow. Then this afternoon I decided, because we had a bit of good weather, even though I knew it was probably not a sensible, definitely not a sensible thing to be doing, but because I'm feeling under a certain time pressure. Stephen's parents are coming down from Shetland at the start of May, which means that we have 2 weeks to have the house all ready for them. Now, there's a few bits and pieces that we've had done, which is, well, Stephen's had done. I've had I don't know how they would put it, artistic influence over, but you know, he's the one that's done all of the work and the organising and the paying for things. It's his house after all. But yeah, you know, they're things that are going to be nice for his folks to see, and I just wanted to make everything as good as possible. And in the last couple of weeks, a profusion of weeds has popped up in the front garden, and there was also a fuchsia bush that I wanted to plant. So I thought, while there's some decent weather, I'll go out and I'll pull up some of those weeds, bits of thistles, and something with like tiny little long leaves, loads and loads of them. It has the same sort of growth structure as a type of succulent that I've seen, but it's not a succulent, obviously. But it seems to have incredibly deep roots that spread everywhere, and then they pop up all over the place. And it didn't want to be pulled out. But yeah, I managed to weed all of, I don't know, maybe 6 foot of the garden, about 18 inches deep. And doing so completely wore all of the skin off the inside of my hand. And when I felt that it was hurting, I thought it was, you know, just the pressure on the trowel or whatever. And I didn't realise how bad it was. And then I took a good look, and I basically made a hole all the way through the skin, just taken all of the skin off that area. And there was a series of blisters, like tiny little blisters all around it as well. And it is stinging. Actually, the whole of my hand is stinging and sensitive, but in particular underneath here. And of course it was full of mud and everything from the garden. So I came back in and washed it, and that stung like a bee hatch. And then I made the mistake of getting antiseptic wipe and attempting to clean it up with that. I pressed it against my skin once and started uncontrollably screaming like I was giving birth. I have felt worse pains in my life. I am quite accustomed to pain, but in one small area, oh my goodness, I did not like that. So Stephen brought me a dish full of water with a little drop of TCP in, and that stung as well, but not nearly as badly. So I soaked it in that for a while and did my best to clean it off, but it's still not right. And means that this hand is now basically useless. Yay. So instead of making dinner together tonight, because I was exhausted as well from that effort, there was a point when I was standing trying to wash the mud off my hands, and I could feel my legs trembling and my hand was shaking, and I was just I'm going to collapse any minute from this. So I had to just go and sit down and try and clean everything up with the antiseptic wipe instead of water, and that totally worked. So now I'm doing that thing where I stay up again to take tablets. I've just taken them now, doing my video and then going to bed. Something I have achieved this week though, remember I've been complaining about not being able to do my knitting because my hands have been too sore? Well, before I did this, I have for a couple of days been able to do a little bit of knitting, not much, but I have finished the sock. This sock, the last time I went up to Newcastle on the train, which was just before I started doing these videos, I got this sock all the way to the very end when I was knitting on the train, and all I had to do was the grafting stitch that covers the toe. And then I put it down and my hand started hurting, too much, and that was it. I just realised I've made a mistake during the grafting. There's one stitch that's not right in. Oh well, they're for me anyway, so I don't care. One stitch isn't going to make me too uncomfortable. And over the last couple of days I've knit this much. This is how much I've managed as a second sock. But it's an improvement. And you know, after a week of just being sat on the needles waiting to have the toe finished, I feel it's a great achievement to finally have a sock. And it's too warm to wear socks, but come winter I'll have warm feet. I haven't dared pick up the sweater yet. It's far too heavy. But, my brain is shutting down. I can feel it just kind of closing off doors, you know, like going around at night checking that everything's all closed up. So I think I'd better stop now. I have not drunk nearly enough today, so I'm going to have some more water. My glass is behind it. The phone is actually balanced on my glass of water. Then brush my teeth, go to bed, and hopefully have a lie-in without the DWP ringing me to pester me for information. So, that is all for today. Night night.